Hi, my name is Patricia Ercolino, and I'm the producer of Sojourners Along the Way. We'd like to give the viewing audience an opportunity, an invitation to produce a show, to put together a show, and then hopefully have it aired on Sojourners Along the Way. We'd like you to produce informative shows, entertaining, fun shows, PG rated, to get all the details about the parameters, the length of time, how it has to be done to be able to be submitted for us to be able to use it. We would like you to contact us. And the contact information is Sojourners Along the Way. Sojourners is spelled S-O-J-O-U-R-N-E-R-S. Sojourners Along the Way, 507 Richland Avenue, Suite 100, Athens, Ohio, 45701. Or you can use email, and that address is Sojourners, again, S-O-J-O-U-R-N-E-R-S .actv@gmail.com. If you do send something through the mail and you want information sent back to you through the mail, please send a self-addressed envelope. And if you want to have a disc returned to you or a USB, then please also include the correct postage for those things to be sent back to you. If you physically come in, you would have to come in at the old Morrison School located on Richland Avenue, and that would be by appointment. We look forward to giving you this opportunity, and hopefully a number of you will take advantage of it. Thank you, and please enjoy the shows that are produced on Sojourners Along the Way. I'm here to talk with Rachel Komisarz-Baugh, who is the new swimming coach for the women's team at Ohio University. So Rachel, we want to give you a very warm welcome and thank you so much, not just for this interview, but for coming to Ohio University in Athens, Ohio.
Oh, thank you.
So there are two key questions that we have to start with.
Okay.
Athens, Ohio, and why OU? You know, Athens is a small town, and you are known nationally as a recruiter and as a trainer and coach. So why Athens, why OU?
Well, I think the question is more why OU. Okay. And that kind of explains the Athens, because OU is here. So, you know, OU I think is a place that there's a lot of potential. The administration for the athletic department is very supportive of the swim team and building this program. So I saw that there was just a lot of positives when I came to interview, that this could be a program that could really move up the rankings. And I think that it's a place where the swimming and diving program can be a nationally ranked program. So that was very appealing to me, and it happens to be in Athens, and I absolutely love Athens. I'm from Detroit and have lived in Louisville for the last 14 years, so moving to a little bit smaller city actually is quite appealing to me. I grew up in a big city and you know, just kind of got sick of the traffic and the fast life and just having to always be go, go, go. And I actually like being able to sit on my deck and patio and watch the deer in my backyard. So I love it here, and you know, Ohio University and everybody that's been here has been really welcoming. It's been a great move for me.
That's exciting to hear. Athens is near and dear to my heart personally, and of course for our viewing audience, a lot of them are in Athens County. So to hear somebody from outside saying yes, yes to Athens.
I love it.
Yeah. So how did you become interested in swimming? And also, at what age did you start competing?
Well, it's kind of a long story. I'll try to make it short so I'm not boring the viewers here, but I actually was a gymnast for 12 years before I started swimming. So I started gymnastics when I was 5 and kind of got into gymnastics to help bring me out of my shell, because I was really shy. Most people don't know that about me, but I am a little bit of an introvert, and gymnastics, my parents put me in there basically to save their couch, because I was jumping on their couch and, you know, trying to break me out of my shell a little bit. So Gymnastics for 12 years. When I was 15, fractured 2 vertebrae in my lumbar spine. So was in a brace and non-weight bearing for 3 months, which when you're non-weight bearing, there's not much you can do but be in the water. Yeah. So was in the water for rehab, and that's kind of how it got started. You know, finished my rehab after 3 months and basically asked the doctors what sport I could still do. I love to compete. I love to get out there, to be the center of attention at that point. Gymnastics definitely brought me out of my shell, but the only sport that really told me that I would be able to do at that point was swimming. So it was challenging for me because I wasn't a big fan of the water. I was always the person who sat in the boat, you know, when people were swimming in the lake or water skiing, and it was hard for me to put my face in the water and that kind of stuff. So, but again, the competitive side of me came out, and I wanted to compete, and this was a way for me to be able to get back into a sport and be able to compete. And you know, I pushed through and got used to it and came out pretty successful on the other end.
Very successful. As an Olympian and one who has won gold medal and also silver, you have definitely overcome a lot of obstacles to do that. And how will you apply that love to what you're presently doing at OU?
Well, I think, you know, for me, coming from and growing up in a city like Detroit, it was an outlet for me to go out and do something with my life. You know, without swimming, without the scholarship, I probably would have gone to community college. You know, I've been able to travel the world and see a lot of things being on the U.S. national team, and just kind of swimming has done so much for me to lead me to where I am today. And so there is that passion, there is this love for the sport, and that's what got me into coaching. There was no way that I could walk away from the sport that gave me so much. And so now my passion, my drive in coaching comes from, I want to be able to give other people that opportunity. I want to be able to share with them the experiences and give them the opportunity to be able to chase their dreams. So I just try to, you know, incorporate, you know, everything that I've learned along the way into my coaching, and just be able to give them the best benefit to help them.
Does OU offer any scholarships in swimming?
Yeah, actually we're a fully funded program. So the NCAA allows for a women's program to have 14 scholarships. So we do have 14 full scholarships. I can split up however I want amongst my team. And we are a fully funded, you know, program with the athletic department. So
that's tremendous.
Yeah, we've got
14 scholarships.
Yep.
How many women are on the team?
Right now I have 22.
Okay, so
yeah,
just about half.
Yeah,
a little bit more than half.
Yep. And it, like I said, the scholarships are split up. So we're an equivalency sport, which means that there's really nobody on a full scholarship. We get to give partial scholarships to a lot of people. So, you know, we try to divvy that up as best as we can. And Ohio University has a great program for academic scholarships.
Good.
And so a lot of our athletes, swimmers, tend to be smart. So that's good.
Very good.
So they can take the combination of their academic and athletic scholarships to put a package together for them. So it really is helpful for finances with these girls.
Now this next one I have to read because I want to talk about your extensive sport achievements.
Okay.
Okay, 2003 you were the world champion and American record holder. 2004 the Olympic gold and silver medalist, the American record 400 medley relay. To succinctly sum up your achievements, you won 23 international medals and broke 5 American records and 1 world record. That stands out. That is so impressive. And I think Ohio University is in a tremendous place to have you as their swimming coach. What do you believe best prepared you to become the coach of the Bobcat swimming team?
You know, there are so many things that I've experienced along the way of my career, of my coaching career, that have led me to this point. I'm not sure if I can really pinpoint one specific area. You know, like I said, I've had the opportunity to work with some of the best coaches in the world. You know, so I've been educated by the people who are, you know, winning gold medals and taking athletes to that level. And Same when I was at Louisville. I mean, we were a program that was a nationally ranked program, top 10 for the men and top 15 for the women. So a lot of those experiences, I think, have led to prepare me for this position. I don't know if I can point to one, you know, and it's kind of hard, and it might be a little bit different, but you have so much success along the years. And I did, and from 2001 to 2008, I did see success after success after success after success. I think the thing that probably most prepared me for this, and this is going to sound a little bit weird, but not making the Olympic team again in 2008 taught me a little bit of how to overcome the struggle, which life is not perfect. Life is hard. And so these girls that I'm working with have daily struggles, and they have disappointments, and I think that has better prepared me in how to help them pick themselves up and be able to move on with life, and also to teach them that swimming is fun and swimming is great and it's really important right now, but it's not what defines you. It's not, it's what we do, it's not who we are. And I really think that lesson was learned in 2008 for me.
That was a hard lesson.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. You know, but looking back now, I think everything happens for a reason. And, you know, I think that might have been the reason, just to help make me a better coach.
That's tremendous you can say that. Now, the team's first meet was in October, right? And there were 3 other meets before this interview.
Correct.
And a win at Youngstown State.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I was wondering, can you get videos of other teams? And if you do, how could you use those to help the Bobcats?
I have meet results. I can look at how they've performed in the past and try to match up my best swimmers with their swimmers. And that's what it is more than anything. We do a lot of video analysis of our own strokes, you know, of our own races, and then I will watch video of how I want them to swim. So there might be people like Ryan Lochte or Michael Phelps, Dana Vollmer, you know, your Olympic medalist. I've even pulled up a few videos of myself to show the girls. But, you know, to see what I'm talking about and to describe it through a video, I think is helpful. But I don't think it really benefits us to watch race video of other teams.
How much science is now in, technology is into the swimming?
A lot. It really is a lot. I mean, you just can't go out there and move your arms and your legs. It's really not about that. It's about, you know, how can we generate the most power? What angles in the water are going to create that most power? And then that's why we do a lot of the underwater video. I think especially this generation of athletes learns by seeing. So if we can video and show them, they can watch it, we can tell them how to make adjustments, they get back in, try it again, make adjustments, get back in, try it again. They can see their improvement, their progress. But yeah, the science is huge. I think that's why our sport has continued to get faster and faster, is because all the science, all the knowledge that we have, and how the body moves, and the technology and the resources that we have to be able to help athletes learn better.
What is something that you would like to tell our viewing audience?
You know, I would just say keep an eye on us, watch out for us. I think we're a team that's on the rise. And, you know, I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of us in the future. We're going to build this team. I do believe we can be a nationally ranked program. So that's kind of where our mission lies right now. And just keep watch for us.
I'd like you to tell us something about your favorite part of coaching.
My favorite part of coaching? I really think it's just the interaction that I can have with these girls, and knowing that I'm having an impact on their lives inside and out of the pool. And I think as for a woman to be in this position, I think it makes me very proud of what I'm doing, but I think it also it is my responsibility in this position to help these women grow into strong, independent women that will be successful later on in life. And so my favorite part is just, I think, having the impact on these girls' lives and hopefully making a difference in who they become.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the team?
Well, you know, we actually have a really strong team. We have some great swimmers. Right now, probably our top swimmer, Tori Baggin. She's been a 102 in the breaststroke. She's ranked in the top 25 in the country right now.
Very good.
So that is great.
Yes.
She's having a phenomenal senior year. So she's been wonderful to work with. And we have Addie Ferguson back, who was an NCAA qualifier last year. We have Laura Dawson, who's a transfer from the University of Kentucky, and she's made an immediate impact on this team in scoring, along with Bianca Hauser and Haley Clark. And so we do have some really great standout swimmers, and we're still learning and getting better. But I think at the end of the year, I think we will have a pretty nice team at NCAAs.
Very good.
So that is definitely progress.
Very good. And we sure are stroping for you.
Oh, thank you.
Pun intended.
I get it.
University of Kentucky is kind of special to you personally, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's my alma mater, so I can't, that's where I got my start, really. I mean, I had swam for a year and a half in high school, and then, Gary Connolly, which is my coach at Kentucky, gave me an opportunity, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, it wasn't that great. There's not many coaches who thought I was going to do much, but he saw it, and he gave me the opportunity. So, yeah, Kentucky, for the fact alone that they gave me an opportunity is very special to me.
It sounds like you didn't really do some serious competing until college age.
Yeah, I only really swam about a year in high school before I got into college.
Because that can be very encouraging to our viewing audience, because we are seeing on the Olympic level the ages are going down and down. But if you were in college and then you were an Olympic gold medalist and silver medalist, then there's hope for others, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the Olympic team, the span is actually getting larger. Okay. Because I made the Olympic team when I was 27, but Dara made her 4th Olympic team at 41.
Wow.
And then you have people like Katie Ledecky and Michael Phelps who make their team when they're 14, 15 years old. So I just think the span is getting, but I really do think that athletes tend to peak a little bit later on in their life. And I think for swimming, what they're combating more than anything is just burnout. So if you can save your athletes to not get burnt out on this sport, I think the results are going to happen in their 20s, late 20s even.
Oh, good. We'll have to pass that word on to others and tell them to come try out for the team.
Absolutely.
The second home meet, and unfortunately it's the last of the season.
Right.
That's sad. But it's going to be an interesting one. It will be on
February 7th.
Yeah, February 7th, Saturday, 1 p.m.
Yes.
Right here at the Aquatic Center.
Yes.
And it's against Miami.
It is against Miami. It's our senior night, our senior meet as well, so we will recognize our seniors with it being our last home meet. And yeah, it'll be our last meet going into the conference, so it'll be a good one.
Yeah, we want to invite our viewing audience, please come and support the swimming Bobcats and their coach, Rachel. And then we're going to see some victory, right?
I hope so.
Now, I had the opportunity to show Rachel off camera some clips. Your swimmers, your athletes, and comments that they made. And one of the comments that they made to you was how much you have helped them. Several comments, and how they have improved so much and how thankful they are for you. We hopefully will be able to include those clips, and then people can see what your swimmers think of you.
Yeah, they're a special group.
They are. They're tremendous.
I'm Caroline. I'm Hannah. To talk about Rachel, I would say that Rachel, she is a very good coach, of course, but she's really understanding, and she kind of is like a friend. You can go to her and talk to her anytime you need to, and she helps you out with anything that you need. You can just always go to her, talk to her.
Yeah, I think that's a really big thing is we're more than just a team, we're a family. And Rachel, I don't know, she's willing to help with anything, private lessons, her door's always open for anything you need to talk about. It's really awesome.
She makes practices fun to go to, and she changes it up. It's not always the same in and out thing, practice every day. She just makes the practices sport. So she just is a lot of fun to be around.
She knows what she's doing. It's really awesome. She's been there. I think that's a big thing.
And I think we all look up to her a lot. She's an Olympian, so that's a big thing for us. That like we know that she's done all this and she's like achieved a lot. So it's just good to look up to her. She's a good role model.
Hi, I'm Katie Lehman, and I like Rachel because she pushes me past my limits every day and tells me that I can always go harder, even though I don't think I can sometimes. Oh, hi, I'm Mariah Walter. Sorry. I really appreciate Rachel on a daily basis just because we are here to get up every day, but it's just like amazing that she gets up every day with us after doing it for her whole life. She's also she's completed the highest level that you can in swimming, which is an amazing thing to look up to. And along with Katie, she pushes me every day in practice, and she's an amazing coach, and I appreciate everything that she does. And she's also an amazing person, and it makes it easier for me to like her. I'm Liz Murphy. I'm so thankful for Rachel because she's constantly doing everything in her power to ensure our success. I think both inside and outside of the pool. So that's really a quality that anybody would look for in a coach, and she's constantly displaying day in and day out.
I'm Elena Pates. The thing I like most about Rachel is that she's so tough and she expects so much from us, and she's so professional. But at the same time, she's really approachable, and you can go into her office and talk to her about anything, and she will listen and give you the best advice she can. And like Liz was saying, that's just such a good quality to have in a coach, that you can talk to them about anything and not feel apart from them just because they're your superior.
Hi Rachel, I just wanted to say thank you for all your encouragement and support this year. And I look forward to being with you next year as well.
Thank you, Rachel, for always being there for me, being supportive, pushing me to work harder, and just being an awesome person. Thank you.
Hi, Rachel. Words can't describe how much you've done for me, how much you've done for this program, how much you've done for everybody on this team, and I can't thank you enough for everything. I mean, you're bringing this program back. You've helped me from injury, from being just frustrated with the sport, to help bringing me back to where I used to be and better, and I can't thank you enough for that. And you've been awesome for this team, supporting everybody, motivating, and getting this team back to where they used to be and better. So, like I said before, words can't describe how much it really means to me and the rest of the team that you're here with us. So, thank you.
Several meets have occurred since the taping of our first session, and I'd like you to discuss how the team has had some personal improvements and bests during the past number of meets.
Well, we swam at the Hokie Invitational at Virginia Tech, and we had a great meet. Overall, if you compare how the girls swam last year at this meet and how they swam this year at this meet, I think we had 95% improvements from last year. We also had 14 lifetime best times. We had 3 NCAA B cuts, and then we had 1 school record that was broken by over a full second. Right now, those times will put us first in 7 events overall in the MEC. So, very positive outcome from our last couple of meets.
That's tremendous. Would you go through and explain some of those things to us, please?
Sure. Season best times or in-season best times are basically just how fast have they swam in season at this point compared to how they've swam in the past at season at this point. Lifetime best times are the fastest that they've ever been in their entire lives. NCAA B cuts are, the NCAA has an invite to go to the NCAA championships. If you get an automatic A time, you automatically go to the meet. If you get a B time, they go by rankings and will invite a certain number to the meet. So right now I have 3 girls that have times that are eligible to be invited to the NCAA championships. And then a school record is simply that. It's a school record, the fastest anybody's ever swam at our school.
That's tremendous. Now, the team having had these meets under their belts, what is anticipated for the remainder of the season? expectation and goals that you have for the team, individuals, what they think they should have?
I think the expectation right now is just to continue to improve. We've hit milestones this early in the season, and I think that just will give them confidence as we move forward. So really, I mean, the expectation is just to continue to get better, continue to learn from the experiences that we have, and just give everything 100% when we have the opportunity to go and swim and compete and train. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, obviously I think we would love for some girls to actually be invited or qualified for NCAAs, but that all kind of remains in the air at this point.
A question. I know that there are a number of seniors on the team. How many seniors, how many underclassmen? Underclassmen.
Well, I actually only have 2 graduating seniors this year.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm only losing 2. They're both a big loss for the team, but we have 5 incoming freshmen right now that'll help fill those spots. So yeah, just 2 seniors. So we've got a pretty young group.
That's good. Because I know one of the other teams is losing a lot because of a large number of seniors. So I'm glad to hear that for swimming. You're going to have time to work with them, help them to develop, and confidence. I think that's one of the biggies, helping people to gain confidence. How your own personal experience, because you went from being a gymnast and then having those fractures that eliminated you from doing any weight-bearing exercises or sports, and that's when you turned to swimming, which I thought your story was pretty interesting, that you didn't even like to put your face in the water, and you went from there to being an Olympian and a silver medalist and a gold medalist. Okay, you had to develop confidence.
I think naturally I'm a confident person, maybe sometimes to a fault, but I think, I knew that going through the steps and going through the process of my training and doing the things that were right and doing what my coach was telling me to do, and also researching and just increasing my knowledge and the technology and the science behind the sport and what I was doing, and just kind of knowing that I was doing things right, I think that gave me the confidence. Early on in my career, I was very naive, actually, so I didn't realize that I wasn't supposed to be swimming that fast, that it wasn't normal for somebody to not have swam since they were like 8 years old, and the fact that I didn't start swimming until I was almost 16, that never dawned on me that wasn't supposed to be happening or that wasn't normal. So I think maybe being a little naive helped me with my career too.
Yeah, that sounds tremendous. I mean, you were not an Olympian until you were 27.
Yeah.
So maybe it's good you didn't know that.
I didn't know that was supposed to happen, so it's okay.
So what about the team? How many of them came from high schools that had swimming teams?
I think all of them came from programs outside of, before college. So, when I'm recruiting or looking for athletes, I'm really looking for somebody who's competing at the USA swimming or national, junior, national level. So high school swimming, yes, it's important. It gives you that team atmosphere, but I'm really looking beyond that. And so they all have the experience of swimming at a little bit higher level than high school.
Okay, well, that's good. I'd like to ask you a few personal questions, okay? All right. I know that you have a master's.
Yes.
And I don't know what that master's is in, so one question is, what is your master's in, and how will you be able to use that to help the OU Bobcats?
Yeah, my master's degree is in sports administration, so swim coaching is not just being on the deck, but all of the things that go into that. I'm in charge of the budget for the team. I'm in charge of, my staff. I have a few people on my staff that I'm in charge of, and from ordering equipment to making sure we have food when we're on the road and hotel, and just basically all that, any kind of compliance issues, recruiting. So I really am probably in the office more than I am on the pool deck. So all of the things from all my education from sports administration really help in that, and facility management and law and accounting, all of that really comes to play and to what I'm doing now as a head coach.
You mentioned food. And there's a big thing going on with food, trying to get to help people, especially in Athens County, which probably most of your swimmers are not coming from Athens County.
Right.
But how much junk food, when you say food, do we count in that?
Hopefully very minimal. I try to educate my athletes how to properly fuel their body. So my rule as far as food and healthy as opposed to junk food is everything is in moderation is okay. So I go by a 90-10 rule. 90% of the time, if you're eating healthy, if you splurge 10% of the time, I don't think that's going to hurt you or be detrimental to your performance or your health. So everything in moderation, and we try to limit the junk food, so that, again, we're properly fueling our body for peak performance and not just, kind of clogging the pipes, I guess, with junk food.
Are we allowed to quote you on that?
Sure.
90-10.
90-10.
And producing fuel. I like that. If you think of food as something that's providing your body with fuel, then we should look at it, is this something that will help my body? And particularly for swimmers, I mean, that is a very strenuous, very demanding sport that needs lots of good fuel.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can use the analogy, and I think a lot of people have used this in the past, but if you have a sports car, you're going to put the premium fuel in your sports car to make sure that it runs properly and it goes fast. Well, you can think of your body a little bit as a performance machine, and you got to put the proper fuel and the good premium fuel in your body, which, whole grains and good lean proteins and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll pass that on.
Science lesson there, I guess.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to be doing a program with a number of healthcare professionals, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, I hope so. Now, a real good personal question.
Okay.
Who, what, were, are the biggest influencers in your life, and why? How?
I have to say, at this point of my life, it's my husband, Jeff. To be honest, I have probably the most understanding, supportive husband of anybody in the world, and for him to quit his job and move to Athens with me so that I could pursue my dream of being a head coach, I think I could not have done any of this without him. That's for sure. I have him to be thankful for. I think he's probably my biggest supporter, my biggest influence, and he keeps pushing me and guiding me along the way. So, yeah, my husband.
That is tremendous. We'll have to let him know when this is going to air so that way he can hear you say that.
Yeah, I tell him every day. And sometimes, he probably gets sick of hearing it. It's like, but, I look at him every day and just think how lucky I am to have him in my life.
That's very fortunate. Great man. I want to meet him.
Yeah.
Now, you made several comments in the initial portion of this interview that I thought would be interesting to explore, okay?
Okay.
One of the first ones I want you to explore is, you said, life is not perfect. Life is hard. And also, swimming is fun but does not define you. It's what you do, not what you are. That sounds like a great life lesson. Could you please elaborate upon that?
Well, I mean, anybody who thinks that they're going to go through life without a few stumbles along the way is, they're in for a rude awakening, because at some point there is going to be that little trip that's going to make you stumble a little bit. So, life is not perfect, and I think you got to learn how to roll with the punches. I think the strength of an individual comes more from not having a perfect life, but what do you do when things go wrong, and being able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go forward, and making changes to make sure that those stumbles don't happen again, or to minimize the impact that has. So, life not being perfect, and you just got to have to, roll with the punches a little bit. And I think the same goes with the sport of swimming. Nothing's going to be perfect. I don't know how many people or how many times you're going to jump in the pool and have the perfect race. And anytime that you expect to jump in and everything's just to go perfectly, when they don't, then you kind of have this moment of panic. And so if we prepare for those stumbles or those imperfections that are going to happen, I think we can be more prepared for the outcome and still having a successful race without it having to be perfect.
Okay. Life is not perfect. Now, you also use technology in order to assist the team. And in your words, you said, generate the most power.
Yeah.
What techniques are used to assist the swimmers? What details can you give us without giving away any secrets?
Yeah, I'm willing to share my secrets, to be honest, with the world, because I am all for building the sport of swimming and making the sport of swimming. And if my competition is faster, then we need to work harder to get faster. And I think that just makes everybody better all around. So one of the things that we do quite frequently is we do underwater videotaping. So we have a GoPro. It's linked directly to our tablet, so there's a Wi-Fi signal. So you video, then you can get out of the pool and you can watch the video. So we do that quite frequently, working on technique and making sure that we're having our creating the right angles in the water to be able to create the right power. So another way we can measure that is we have power racks, and so we'll do efforts on the power rack, and we time those efforts, and then we have equations that we can calculate the actual power output that they have for that moment in time. So based on the weight that they're using, how long it takes them, the distance is constant because they have a cord on them that will only limit them to go so far. So you know, and then trying to find, okay, is it going to be more beneficial for us to kick a little bit further underwater? Is that creating a little bit more power as we come up, or do we need to get up and swim, and that's creating more power? So yeah, we have a lot of video analysis to be able to figure out those things.
And it sounds like a lot of math.
A little bit.
I like that.
I like numbers. Some numbers are good. You know, the computers these days do a lot of the math for us, so it's not a whole lot of equations or anything like that. But you know, we even have apps for our tablet that we can draw angles and calculate the angle of, you know, the bend in their elbow. So to be able to figure out, okay, is, you know, a 70-degree bend creating more power, or is a 75-degree angle creating more power? So we do have the tools to be able to calculate those power outputs. It's kind of neat.
I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. Right, it's not just jumping into the pool and taking off. It's, let's really analyze this.
Yeah.
And for each swimmer, that would be different, wouldn't it?
It would be. I mean, everybody is different, and everybody's stroke is a little bit different, and you have to play into each individual's strength. So, yeah, everybody's different. Everybody has a slightly different strength that we need to, you know, capitalize on.
Wow, it sounds like you're doing it.
We're trying.
Yeah, you are. Now, you also stated that you want to impact the team's lives inside and outside of the pool. And I thought it was really great that one of your swimmers said that is something you are doing. So you can be assured that you are successful in that. But how? How do you want to impact them inside, outside?
Well, I think, you know, without sounding too much of a feminist, but I think at the same point, you know, who knows, maybe I am. I am a female in an authoritative position as a head coach, and there's not very many of us in the entire country.
Oh, that's sad.
And so I think I've been given a platform to, you know, I don't know, impact my athletes to know that if whatever they put their mind to, they can achieve. You know, this has been a goal of mine to be a head coach. So, you know, just trying to empower them and teach them responsibility and making sure that, you know, they can make decisions for themselves and being responsible adults, because at this point they are adults. And so, you know, when it comes to studying or being socially responsible, I do leave a lot of that onto them. I do keep watch of them. You know, I keep track of their grades, and anytime that there are any kind of issues with their grades or study hall hours or tutoring or anything like that, I'll ask them. It's not necessarily that anybody's in trouble about it, but I just want them to know that somebody is keeping them accountable for those actions outside of the pool, and that they're more to me than just numbers and times, that they are people to me. They are my family, and that I do care about what happens to them after 4 years of swimming. And 4 years of swimming is, you know, a professional career in something other than swimming. You know, so I need to make sure that they're prepared for life after swimming, and I do take that very seriously as part of my job as a coach.
That's tremendous, and I think the swimmers do appreciate that. So I applaud you.
Oh, thank
and
you.
And I thank you, because, you know, helping people to look beyond. A lot of people don't. They just are in the here and now.
Yeah.
And for them to realize, yeah, swimming is great, but it's not our life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more to life after. I mean, for me, I was really lucky that I actually got to stay into the sport. But that's still, you know, I had to get a degree. I had to get a master's degree in order to be a head coach. You know, that a lot of times is required. And so, just being a great swimmer didn't lead me to being a head swim coach. You know, there was other things along the way that I had to accomplish before I could, you know, get in a position like this. So they've got to be prepared.
Yes, and I hope they listen.
Me too.
Yeah, the University of Kentucky.
Yes.
That's where you got your start.
It is.
And the coach there was the one that gave you an opportunity. Those were your words, that you were given an opportunity that no one else had seen. Would you elaborate upon that? Because you went from not swimming, you said that you only did a little bit of swimming in high school, and then this coach was the one that gave you your opportunity, and how you progressed. I mean, you've accomplished a great deal. You went on not just to be an Olympian and gold medal and silver medalist, which is tremendous. I mean, not that many accomplish that. But you also have broken national records, international records, and world records. What was the spark? What was it that inspired you?
You know, I've always been internally driven, I think. But I think, you know, to go back to University of Kentucky and my coach, Gary Connolly, that was there, I think he believed in me right from the start. You know, I'd only been swimming for 1 year, and from a small town right outside of Detroit, I didn't have a lot of means. And so he was taking a big gamble on me, a big risk as far as the scholarship that he did offer me in order for my family to be able to financially, you know, make it feasible for me to go to college. You know, so I think, you know, from that point, I never wanted to let him down. I wanted him to know that the risk that he took was worth it, you know, and I think that along the ways, I think that was continually my drive, is that, you know, my family and my friends, I don't know if they had the expectations for me, but I never wanted to let them down. I wanted to always exceed their expectations and my expectations, and I think that's really what kept me going and just driving to excel with that. I don't know.
Well, I hope Gary's very proud of you.
Yeah.
Do you still have contact with him?
Yeah, and actually I was inducted into the University of Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame. And he is the one that did the little intro about me, and it was great to be able to kind of hear some of the words he had to say about me, and then be able to kind of get up back and reciprocate. So, you know, I think we have a special relationship there, you know, that, yeah, that's really where I got my start. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be probably sitting here right now.
Now, would you, and not if, when, I'll say the word when OU moves on, and that was another one of your comments about moving up in the rankings, because right now the MAC would be the highest level that the team swims.
Right. Well, last year we actually had a girl qualified for the NCAA championships.
Okay.
So Addie Ferguson qualified in the 100 back and 100 fly. So she did swim at the national championships. She didn't score, so there were no points on the board. But Ohio University has placed as high as 13th at the national championship meet.
Okay.
So I think, you know, we're wanting to get back to that level. It's been a while since that happened. I think it was 1990 or 93. That happened. So it's been a long time that we were nationally ranked.
Okay.
That can happen at any point, to be honest. You know, if we have, I assume that we could have a few girls qualified for NCAAs this year. If they can get a second swim or a championship swim, then they'll score points, and we would be nationally ranked. Okay. They will go ranking all the way down to probably around 48 to 50 teams.
Okay.
I'd like to break in the top 25 within the next, 4 or 5 years.
That sounds tremendous.
I know, kind of lofty.
I was going to ask you, what is your projection, anticipation for the future? So now we know you want to hit the top 25.
Yeah, I think top 25 would be a great place for us to be in the next 4 or 5 years.
And I think with the swimmers seeing how good you are and knowing you have the record, so they know, you know what you're talking about. Hopefully they will follow all the recommendations, and they'll see that kind of success.
Yeah,
now,
let's hope.
Yeah, well, I'm on your side.
Okay.
If that is done, would you be competing against the University of Kentucky?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I'd be competing against Kentucky, and actually the school I just came from at Louisville, and, the nation's best, so Cal. and Stanford, and all of the schools that are out there right now, we would be swimming up against them. So yeah,
I certainly hope so. Like I've said, OU is my alma mater. It's near and dear to my heart, and sure would like to see success like that. So we're with you, Rachel. I'm not going to say we're stroking for you this time. What words of wisdom and encouragement would you give to hopefuls? And by that I mean someone that is very interested in swimming, does not have the opportunity, they don't have a high school where there's a swimming pool or anything. What kind of suggestions, what kind of words of wisdoms would you give to them?
Well, I think, again, I think you can do anything you set your mind to do. So just because your high school doesn't have a team doesn't mean that there's not other opportunities for you to swim out there or to pursue another sport at a high level. And I think everybody has a pretty equal playing field to start off with. And so what you do with that and how you approach what you want to do with your life is really up to you. And so, coming from Detroit and right outside of Detroit, I mean, who would have thought, that I was going to be an Olympian or have a gold medal? And I never thought that probably growing up. And yet I was still able to achieve that. And so if I can do it, really, to be honest, and where I come from and starting so late in life and in swimming, I really think that anybody can do it. The opportunity is there just to see how far you can get.
So when you were younger, first getting into swimming, you never dreamed of going on to the Olympics?
No, actually I didn't. I mean, I being a gymnast, I thought, I could be the next Mary Lou Retton. I mean, that's what I thought growing up. And I even cut my hair like her back in the day. So, I thought in gymnastics that I could be an Olympian. And I think that when the injury hit, my next goal was, okay, how do I go to college? How do I achieve that? And can I get a scholarship in another sport besides gymnastics, to be able to pay for college and kind of get out of, Detroit a little bit, or, to not go to community college, which there's nothing wrong with that. Right. I just, I had bigger dreams. So, I never thought early on in my career, it probably wasn't until I graduated from college that I thought that, I think I actually could make a run for this.
And that's tremendous. And you did. And you said you were 27 years old.
I was 27. I swam until I was 31, though, too. That's a lot of fun. The body does different things after the age of 30 that I experienced all of them training 25 hours a week. That was a great time.
That was something I did want to ask you about, the process. If there's a hopeful, what kind of routine? What should their expectations be so that way they hopefully can accomplish that kind of goal?
I mean, the training regimen is pretty fierce. I was in the pool 20 to 25 hours a week, in addition to spending 3 to 4 hours in the weight room, another 3 to 4 hours of some kind of dry land aerobic activity, whether it's spinning or running or something like that. So for me, once I did get to the Olympic level, it was a full-time job, and luckily I was actually able to get paid to do it, so I didn't have to work in addition to that, so that was kind of nice. But I mean, it is a lot of dedication, it's a lot of discipline. It is all-encompassing. It's a 24-hour, it's not 2 hours in the pool or an hour in the weight room. It really is a 24-hour-a-day adventure, that you're getting up and making sure that you're going to sleep on time, you're getting up and eating the right stuff, you're going to practice and staying focused, and weights, getting a nap in, again, fueling your body, making sure you have enough water to hydrate your body. So it is 24 hours, and then on the weekend you still don't get a break because, when your friends want to go out and that kind of stuff, putting, alcohol or anything like that in your body can be detrimental to your training as well. So there is a lot that go into it, and it is very, it is a process that you have to be really dedicated for. There are some sacrifices, but I can tell you there's no sacrifice that I ever had in my life that I didn't get back, threefold with the achievements of knowing that you hit your dreams and your goals. So the sacrifices, I'm going to say that one right into the camera. The sacrifices are definitely worth the outcome that you can achieve.
How How much time do your swimmers spend in the pool? And is it part of their training that they must go to the gym and do all of these things?
Yeah, we have about 16 hours a week right now in the water, and then we do another 3 hours in the weight room. So the NCAA actually limits me to 20 hours a week that I'm allowed to let my athletes train. But I don't think we normally hit 20 hours. We're right at about 19 and a half. We push it. We're close. But I do respect the NCAA's recommendations on 20 hours. Some coaches go over and just don't record it. But I do abide by those rules because they are student athletes and they do have work that needs to be done in the classroom as well. So I try to be respectful of that time. And I think everything that we're trying to do and trying to achieve can be done in those 20 hours.
Oh, that sounds good. And it does sound like that would at least be a part-time job.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, back to you. You went from the gymnastics to the fractures that you had in your spine. What type of injuries do swimmers typically experience? Because you did that as a gymnast.
Yeah. Really, I think most of the time what swimmers are experiencing are overuse type injuries. Your shoulder, your rotator cuff, even the labrum in your shoulder. I had shoulder surgery after actually before I retired, but right before I retired. So, yeah, I mean, you're just wearing down on the joint a little bit, and I think that happened. I'm waiting to see what happens down the long run, how much arthritis is going to set in or stuff like that.
No, don't even say that word.
I think as long as I stay active, I can kind of combat some of the things that have the injuries that I have encountered throughout my life, and hopefully they don't get out of control. But yeah, most of the time it's smaller stuff, shoulder issues, and most of it's overuse. There's nothing that's usually an acute injury.
I hope not. We want
healthy athletes.
No injuries.
Yeah, and you know what? We do a preventative prehab routine with my athletes to cut down on any overuse injuries. So making sure that the rotator cuff muscles are strong enough to be able to withstand the work that we're asking them to do.
Are there exercises or something that can be done?
Yeah. We use TheraBands, and we do a lot of internal-external rotation and scapular stabilization and that kind of stuff to make sure that their shoulders are staying healthy.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
Those bands are becoming very popular, aren't they?
They are. Very useful.
Yeah.
Very useful.
Now, the conference for the MAC will be February 26th to the 28th, and it's in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Is that going to be Eastern Michigan University? Can you tell us a little bit of your expectations?
Again, I think it's exciting to see the improvement that they've made in the short time that I've been here. And so, again, am I expecting to walk into the MAC and win? No. It would be nice.
Yes.
But I think my expectation is just for everybody to continue to improve, to give 100%, and then also to be engaged with the team the whole time, and to be cheering and just being a part and living in the moment and not being distracted by some of the outside world. So really those are my expectations, is just to give it everything we got, and to see what happens.
Yes, and we want to see it be very powerful and very successful. Any thoughts about the next home meet? This is going to be a very important one because the next home meet also is the final meet of the season.
Yes.
And it also will be recognizing seniors. What do you do to recognize the seniors? Let's start with that and then move on.
Yeah, I mean, basically we just have a little ceremony before the meet starts, and, we have a little gifts and flowers for them, that kind of thing. But and we'll have a senior brunch beforehand, again, to recognize them, and we'll allow some of their teammates to get up and talk about them and kind of the impact that they've had on their lives and through their careers. So, it's just a time for us to be able to, 4 years of swimming at Division I athletics, especially in the sport of swimming, is kind of tough. And so to recognize people who have made that, achieved that milestone and reached the end of their career. And, it's hard for me to put too much into the last dual meet, just because we do have the MAC championships after that.
Yeah.
So, it's like, okay, it's opposed to the dual meet season, but we still have a lot of swimming to do. So, I don't like to put any definitive, goals or anything on that meet, because really it's just another meet and our in season, and our focus is really more for after.
Now, your final meet is not just any meet.
No, it's Miami.
This is a biggie for Ohio U.
It is.
Against Miami, and it's February the 7th, 1 p.m. at the Aquatic Center. And we want to invite the viewing audience, please come out and support the Bobcats. They've made a lot of progress. You heard what Rachel has said, and we want to see it really help against Miami. So tell us what your thoughts are.
Well, we're going to be competitive. I mean, my expectation really for that meet is to go in and win as many events as we can. They have a little bit more depth than we do, just simply because of the number of people on their team. So, but yeah, if we can get in there and win as many events as we possibly can, and I think we should be at that point pretty fine-tuned to be able to go close to lifetime best times, and then again build that confidence going into conference.
That sounds tremendous. And we definitely want to see OU win as much as possible. In fact, personally, the whole thing.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Rachel, you commented that the sport has given you so much, and now you have a passion and a drive to give back to the sport. I want to thank you so much for doing it here at Ohio University.
Thank you.
We want to see you be so successful. This is your first year, and may there be many, many, many more and wonderful times. You're a good coach. That's what the team says. So,
thank you.
We thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The kids are really excited to have Rachel here this year. They've